Row started way back in the 1960s, but at that time it was not called Row. Ramadan on Wheels only started in 2000s. At that time when we started Row, it was because the Celtic Welfare Services, they actually donated staple foods such as flour, rice, bread and stuff to the low-income families, and that's how PAPM actually distributed. And they row using their sampans to the southern islands.
And now, a decade later, ROW has successively evolved, broadening its volunteer base and diversifying its activities with its dedicated initiatives. Nevertheless, despite establishing itself as a uniquely signature Ramadan event, it has constantly involved both Muslim and non-Muslims alike, with ROW's objectives in line.
Ini adalah satu program yang saya sendiri merasa bangga kerana ia terus berkembang dan dapat menyemarakkan lagi semangat Ramadan. Ini telah dapat dijayakan kerana bertambahnya bergandanya rakan-rakan yang menyumbang bahan makanan seharian ataupun wang ringgit zakat yang dikumpulkan. Jadi saya lihat projek ini dapat sebagai satu yang boleh menyemarakkan semangat Ramadan dan pada masa yang sama menyemarakkan juga semangat
One such individual who volunteers with ROW yearly is Mary Avery, who has been in Singapore since August 2007 with her family. In 2010 will be her fourth time volunteering with ROW.
I found out about it through my work at the U.S. Embassy. They were organizing volunteers, and I thought it sounded like a really interesting thing to do. We've never lived in a country that had a very large Muslim population. We didn't know anything about Ramadan. Oh, it's had a really big impact on us. I think it will be one of the most valuable things that we take away from our stay in Singapore is our memories of helping with Ramadan on Wheels. Not just meeting the beneficiaries, but also meeting the other volunteers.
Able to go into the house, visit the needy families and understand what they go through every day in their own homes. It is very grateful that we could experience something like that.
One of the things that really impresses me about MPAPM and why I've been a volunteer for 4 years in a row, it's not just about the end result of Ramadan on Wheels and helping the beneficiaries, although that's very important. It's also about all the young people that I see that are involved with MPAPM and with Ramadan on Wheels in particular. All these volunteers, the majority of them are very young, and they're learning how to organize, how to give of themselves. They're really learning how to be good citizens for the next generation. And I think as donors, that your gift gives twice. It gives to the beneficiaries now for their immediate needs, which of course are great, but it also gives to these young people to help them see what an impact they can make in their lives.
Happy moments, I feel, is the bonding that was created through the various the volunteers that we have. We have multiracial and multi-religious volunteers, and seeing them work hand in hand to help our beneficiaries, that really touched me.
Madam Sharifah, a single mom who lives with her 86-year-old mother and 2 young children, is one of ROW's recipients. During the month of Ramadan, she gets $200 worth of grocery vouchers from Giant. This helps her overcome some of her expenses. It is difficult to manage her household on $500 a month, having to pay for her electricity bill, groceries and more. To add to her burden, Madam Sharifah is unable to work full-time as she has no one to help care for her mother and children.
Kekhawatiran pada mak saya lah, kadang-kadang lupa. Pada satu hari tu saya baru pergi kedai je, kadang lupa tutup air. Itu yang sebab saya khawatir saya keluar rumah lah, kan takut dia masak kan tertinggalkan gitu kan. Masa depan saya probably nak kata orang tu nak yalah meningkatkan diri saya lagi untuk kerja untuk dapat lebih pendapatan supaya kata saya tak payah nak minta bantuan yang ada sekarang lah. Senang untuk diri saya dan anak saya lah.
Through its unique and groundbreaking edge, Experience, Develop, Grow, Enrich scheme, ROW represents 4PM's mission to maximize human potential for the future of community beyond borders. This mission has kept ROW and its people going for the past 10 years.
We always would do home visits. So way back then, we didn't do home visits. We were more of people giving us papers and we just based on that. So now we actually go to their homes, find out about what they are going through in their homes. So some of them actually feedback that computers are useful for us to go on with their daily lives. It's useful for the children to do their projects. So they don't have to spend extra money to get the children to go to libraries to just spend that money. Although our name suggests Malay Youth atau Persuratan Pemuda-Pemudi Melayu 4PM, we hope to outreach to other races. So we always try to keep a balance between the Malay and non-Malay clients between a 30 to 70 ratio. So at least 30% of them will be non-Malays in terms of beneficiaries and 30% will be non-Malays in terms of volunteers. And that helps to see that in Singapore, it's a multiracial society, so you cannot just base it on one race and expect everybody else to come in and just help one race. So it's easier to do the project that way.
Semua tak kira bangsa, semua boleh tolong-tolong. Kita ini orang tua boleh dapat baguslah.
How are you? Nice, are you? Okay. Nice to see you. Okay.
Mr. Richard's family benefits from 4PM's invaluable assistance. Despite being the age of 80, Mr. Richard is unable to enjoy the retired life of his peers. Instead, this doting father still has to take care of 4 of his children who either have a history of mental illness or disability. Currently, the family resides in a 4-room flat that has cracked flooring, loose tiles, and a wall that needs a fresh coat of paint. Hardly suitable conditions for a family of 6. Mr. Richard shares with us his children's condition.
Mentally not so good. Two of them are admitted to Woodbridge. Like that. Huh? And now still medication, Geylang got before here, now only Geylang had medication. She is psychiatric doctor. As far as bathing, food, eat, walking, everything, take care of himself.
Currently, Mr. Richard receives monthly help from Northeast CDC. However, his children's health conditions take a toll on his monthly expenses.
Oh, hard to say because tangan, water, all that non-stop expenses are sometimes the water bill $180, $190. Before $300 few $100, $200-300.
So,
all water bill, all.
So everything in should be about $1,000.
$1,000 plus. Of course, certain time you need money to transport to see. Not transport, not free. So like that.
In 2010, during the month of Ramadan, Richard was one of the individuals who received help from ROW.
I hope 4PM can do better year by year. This is the first, to tell the truth, first Malay organization, Youth One, doing this job. Very good.
To date, 4PM's efforts, including ROW, has been much commended. They have won many accolades, the most recent being the Commonwealth Youth Silver Award 2007 and Singapore Youth Award for Team and Community Services 2006. These achievements reflect ROW's continued efforts to strive for excellence in its outreach activities.
Every year when we do Ramadan on Wheels, the first thing on our chairman's mind will be how do we do Ramadan on Wheels different this year? How can we help the clients different this year? How can we create better impact in their lives? That's always been a struggle that we, or a decision that we struggle upon to make. Because it's really important to ensure that, because we're using public money, using public funds, you have to ensure that the ideas remain fresh, the members get help in different ways, because a lot of other people are doing the same thing. So we don't want to duplicate services, we want to do something different.
I think one of the main ways that ROW can remain relevant is to get more ideas, especially from our youth. I mean, 4PM, we are very youth orientated, and we need those fresh ideas.
Clearly, the youth appeal in ROW is its winning trait. In order to involve the youth today, it has continuously reinvented itself by developing multifaceted projects to capture youth interest, including that of Mr. Raza Zulkifli. Mr. Raza is certainly no stranger to ROW. After his family stopped being a recipient of ROW in 2008, Mr. Raza still continues to spearhead some of ROW's activities till today.
Basically, Ramadan on Wheels and volunteering in POPM has impact me in a lot of ways lah. Basically, on how I behave, on maybe on the things I learn lah, which you cannot learn elsewhere. Like for example, they gave me this leadership role for me to lead a group of campers. Volunteering is actually fun lah. I think that we, the Malay community, needs somebody to volunteer and help lah. So I see that my job, if I cannot contribute to the society through money wise, okay, so what I can do is actually use all my energy to volunteer and help those in need lah.
Having identified the youth as the future carriers of ROW, it is thus vital for ROW to maintain its appeal within that age group. ROW's ability to constantly reorient, invent and reshape its activities to champion its central mission is what makes the movement timeless. With its aim to bridge borders across age, race and language, rest assured that ROW will remain at the forefront for decades to come.
It's a good effort, and a good effort made, and it's not easy, and I sincerely ucapkan tahniah lah kepada POPM.
Thank you so much for letting us participate in Row 2007. We had a terrific time. It was wonderful to meet so many great Singaporeans who are doing such good work in their community, and it was really fun to be a part of that work and to help some needy families today. So, terima kasih banyak.
Make sure that they have a happy day lah with us, so that they will forget all the problems that they have for the day lah. So to see them happy is the greatest gift ever lah for me lah as a volunteer.
My hopes for the beneficiaries are that they'll be able to get the skills not only for today and the needs that they have right now, but also for the future.